Hello and welcome back to another episode of Jazzbiz Buzz. Today we'll be engaging in conversation with Mr. Rao Salman, CEO TPL, and we'll be talking about the telematics industry and the applications of IoT in telematics in Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum ji, kya haal hai
Assalamu
aapke?
alaikum ji. Thank you for having me here.
Our pleasure, ji, bilkul. Let's start with a very basic question. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you started your career, and how did you end up at TPL?
So, story of 23 years actually, a little over 23 years. Earlier in my childhood, I was based out of Pakistan, lived all across Saudi Arabia and the Middle East region. Came to Pakistan for the higher studies, did my engineering and my MBA. Started with Philips, reporting to Singapore, then moved to TCS, spent my longest tenure there for 10 years. Then worked for IBL Group as a commercial director, managing the international business. It was all FMCG. And then moved to Pakistan Cables, looking after their local and international business. And then finally I'm here at Trakker. It's been a little over 4 or 5 months that I've joined, and I'm working as CEO.
Fairly new to TPL
Fairly
as well.
new to TPL, yeah.
But not to the technology.
Not technology, not to the people around me here in this jazz session today.
Yeah.
A lot of familiar faces. You know, it's a small world. Had a privilege to meet a lot of old friends here today and this morning.
Wow, that's amazing.
So found really good.
That's really
Yeah.
good. So tell us a little about the telematics industry. We understand that the fleet management and logistics industry is actually transforming itself and becoming very, very digital and for the better for cost saving and for efficiency. But tell us a little about how it actually works.
So, as I think you know, TPL Trakker is a pioneer in this industry. It started its operations of basic vehicle tracking some 2 decades ago, and, from a small house in PCHS, and then we built this entire company. Actually, we built this industry. We were the pioneers. We introduced this product, and then a couple of other competitors followed us. But we're still enjoying the maximum share of more than 45% today. But over the period of time, what we discovered, since we were constantly in touch with the consumers and their needs. So the vehicle tracking, the basic vehicle tracking, जिसको हम गाड़ियों की monitoring device कहते हैं, वो एक छोटा business portion रह गया हमारा. Now we are more into the IoT devices than the basic vehicle tracking system. So we are more into IoT devices, and when I say IoT devices, it's like inside the vehicle, we can monitor, manage the fuel management system. We can manage the driver fatigue system. We have this system, we call it dash cam, whereby the driver is being constantly monitored. We have MDVRs, the cameras, especially designed for oil and gas companies. And the list goes on. So we have a lot more product than just basic vehicle tracking company. So we are no more just a vehicle tracking company, but rather an IoT and a technology company that works constantly around the consumer needs. And that's why we are here. And for the last 2 decades, we are maintaining this leadership status. No one came close to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we understand that adopting this kind of a technology can actually help you not just track your fleet out in the market, but you can also look at the vehicle's health, and you can also look at the pilferage of fuel, and you can as many sensors as you keep on adding, you can get that kind of data.
Absolutely. So when I talk about this fuel management, it's not just the fuel management within the vehicles and the cars, it's for the gensets as well. We have energy problem in Pakistan. You go to the banks, every branch have their generator outside. So there are millions of generators out there. So while sitting in the head office, now with our technology, our IoT devices, our sensors installed in those generators, the people sitting at the head office, the admin department, can monitor the generator's health, stop the pilferages, can see when this generator was off, when this generator is on, and can manage everything just by sitting in, because we share the complete dashboard. It's a 24 hours live monitoring. So they can have an absolute, like 5 seconds old data in their systems. It's just a click away. So these kind of product, when it comes to the vehicles, there are distributors, there are companies who are running the fleet. And because of the rising fuel costs, it's absolutely important to manage this system. And we have the solution whereby you can comfortably manage while sitting at office and stop the pilferages. And it's saving, it's not the 100,000 rupees of saving, the saving goes to millions of rupees.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why we are here. So we work with the companies like SNGBL managing huge fleets. We work with K Electronics. We work with distribution houses having hundreds and thousands of vehicles. We work with the FBR. We work with other government departments and the Punjab Waste Management, the Sindh Waste Management, and we have proven results. And that's why we are there. And we've been working with them as an exclusive partners for so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just sort of move the conversation to the technology side of things. Pakistan still is one of those countries who thinks that हम चल रहे हैं इसी तरह तो चलते चले जाएंगे. बहुत सारे businesses के साथ आपको ये at times you have to face this when you pitch them the advancement of technology and how it can help their businesses. They're actually just fine doing their businesses the way they're doing. What do you think is the appetite, or is there a challenge with the appetite for this kind of product in Pakistan?
Yes, the challenge is there because it involves the cost.
Yeah.
And it more than the cost, it involves the change in the mindset.
Yeah.
But that's where our sales team comes in. You just go, keep hammering them, and first you have to understand the problem, and then go back to them with a solution to the problem. And if you can quantify the saving as well.
Yeah.
So if you go to the Rexall, if you go to the fleet management company, if you go to any customer and tell them this is how you're going to save money,
Yeah.
and this is the ROI. Because the product cost is not way too high, it's fairly simple, and but against that the saving is huge.
Yeah.
So if you can convince them that the ROI is just less than an year or 1.5 years, so that's how we make our conversation more productive. And I think our success ratio is more than 50% so far. Wherever we go, we will manage to convince. The biggest advantage, if you talk about the vehicle tracking, because people know us as the vehicle tracking company. Our success ratio to recover the stolen vehicles is 90%. You see, this is far more than any other company in Pakistan. So that's where our edge comes in. This is one of our USP, you see. So we have the established brand names. So we get the foot in the door because I don't need to go and tell what is TPL Trakker. People know what is TPL Trakker. We have an established brand and the credibility in the market.
Yeah.
You see, so that my job is half done when the people know. And then our,
and then also this is needed. This is actually something that people have wanted to have because they want to track their vehicles.
Of course.
Even at the consumer end, right now we're talking about the B2B sector only, but even at the consumer end, the need is there to track your vehicle if you have, children going to school with your driver and stuff like that.
So, जिस तरह fuel cost बढ़ी है, so all the more important for any company running a fleet to track their vehicles so that they can save.
Yeah.
The second part, what you just mentioned is, and I tell to these people because most of the time we go to the office, we don't go to drop our children. It's mostly 90% of the time it's a driver.
Yeah.
You got to know कि आपका driver किधर जा रहा है, इस route पे जा रहा है. So our product tells you, so we have an application, and in application what we do is we geofence the route. गाड़ी को point A से point B पे जाना है, and this is the route the driver has to follow. And you get all the details, the live monitoring of your vehicle on your application 24 hours. If the vehicle goes from a little bit of deviation from the route, which is predefined in the system, you get the alarm, you get the beep in the system, and immediately you get to know that something is going wrong actually. So you can call your driver, you can call your kid that what's going on. You were supposed to go from point A to B, you're going directly to the school, why you're going there? So this is very, especially in these days, with the law and order situation here in Pakistan, it's all the more important to have this very basic device. And with this, you can fairly protect your car, your kid, and any bad incidents.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the applications of this particular service and this particular technology in insurance, because I think one of the applications for insurance industry could be they can actually find out how much premium to charge somebody based on the data that has been provided, based on the data that these sensors are collecting. And that's a better way to actually calculate premium than just, going with the off-the-shelf or, packages that they already deliver.
Yeah, it's a saving for insurance companies actually.
Yeah.
And most of the insurance companies made it mandatory to have a tracker in their car because that's how they save their money.
Yeah.
अगर गाड़ी चोरी हो जाती तो it's the insurance company who has to bear the cost actually.
Yeah.
So that's how they're protecting their own interests actually. So all the more reasons. So we have our own insurance company with the name TPL Insurance as well.
Yeah.
So all the insurance companies, we are in touch with them, and they're all on the panel. We are there on their panel. and most of the companies made it mandatory to install tracker in their car.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't insure.
They don't insure.
Yeah, so we get a lot of business from there as well. So that's the, this is how important this product is.
Yeah, no, but I think that it should be the way, because the safety of the vehicle, the safety of the people driving the vehicle is very, very important.
What I see is more than the safety of the people than a vehicle. At times you
Yeah.
get insurance, you get money from the insurance if the car is lost. But what about the human being sitting in the car?
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah,
So that's all the
also
more
true.
reasons, all the more important to install this basic product.
Yeah, preventively maybe.
course.
Yeah, but afterwards maybe not. So there's a lot of data that is being collected, a lot of data that you're putting probably on the cloud, or a lot of data that is being exposed to the customer end as well. Whenever your data is being stored in the cloud, there's always a chance of cyber attacks and things like this. So how do you, I mean, I wouldn't want somebody who I don't want to see where my car is going either, right? So how do you cater for that particular angle?
So it's all about data, because what the customer doesn't see a product.
Yeah.
What they see is the data on the dashboard,
Yeah.
what we present.
Yeah.
And there is a place we save the data. So at times it's mandatory for us to have this data for past 3 years stored in a place. So we have a very, very robust system available, a lot of firewalls, a lot of security zones to protect this data. So we have this system in place. Since we're the pioneers, we know the importance of the integrity of this data. So we have everything in place to ensure that the data is protected, because it's the consumer's data, it's the customer's data. And since we work with the government agencies as well, we work with CPLC very closely, because कोई भी गाड़ी चोरी होती है, the first thing what we do is to call CPLC and our own security company.
Yeah.
So most of the time, our company reaches first, then the CPLC.
Yeah.
So it's a coordination.
Yeah.
So our control room where all the calls landed and the data is stored, it's 24 hours monitoring.
Yeah.
So वो जो control room है, उसके पीछे जो backbone है और वो जो IT infrastructure है, is completely secured. And for last 20 years, not a single incident happens actually.
Really?
Not a single incident happens.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Must
Our
be some
control
really
room, by the way, works 24 hours.
Right.
So we have our own IT department, a huge team. We usually don't outsource anything. So the tracker application we have is an in-house designed and managed application. Any application, any customized application that a customer requires, all the dashboards that a customer sees, because almost every customer has their unique, different requirement to see the data. It's all in-house developed. We have a huge team of research and development. We have localized almost 30-40% of all the products. We're working on, every day we work on the new products. We go to the customer, they have the requirements, and we start immediately working on that. So जो products line मैंने आपको बताई हैं, we have almost 20-30 more products in the pipeline, जो कि अगले कुछ दिनों में हमारी development team develop कर लेगी और हम उसे local market में ले आएंगे. What we do also is we give chance to the university students. Yeah, they come and they work with us. We hire management trainees and especially hire them for our research and development departments.
Right, right.
So we have a management trainee program whereby they come and they work in different departments, and with their own choice we place them. And the focus is to bring university engineering students and give them a chance to work here and develop products.
Yeah.
We go to the university, work with their incubation department, and give them the projects as well.
Yeah.
So NED में, UET में जो students हैं
That
वो
is a
हमारे
good
products के ऊपर
model
काम कर रहे
actually.
हैं.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
So-
I honestly believe that our universities are not actually, teaching the curriculum they should be teaching based on what's happening in the
Absolutely.
industry at this point in time. So giving that
Absolutely.
kind of exposure can actually help the students.
That's true. So companies like us, yours, who have this potential and who have this obligation as well,
Yeah.
because we're the Pakistani companies. We're
Yeah.
proud to say that we are Pakistani companies.
Yeah.
Company. ये हमारा काम है, हमें करना चाहिए. I studied in the engineering university. I know the challenge the student faces when they go out in the market. You see, the things have changed recently.
Yeah.
In last 1 year or two, काफ़ी सारे organization in my previous company we have a management training program. हम उनको train करते थे. इस company में भी एक पूरा management training का पूरा program है.
Right,
जहाँ हम
right.
different universities से students को लाते हैं और उनको हर department में काम कराते हैं, and with their own choice वो फिर हम उनको place कर देते हैं.
Yeah, that's actually a very good initiative.
When I say this, we're the Pakistani company, we're proud to say that we're the Pakistani company working on this level. I must add one thing, that we're the only company in Pakistan who's gone global. We have our office in Dubai. We have working there for more than a decade now, and we're a very, very well established name in Dubai. You go to Dubai and you see the government list. There are regulatory authorities authority in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi. अगर आप उनकी वेबसाइट पे जाएं तो हमारा नाम टॉप 5 कंपनीज में वहाँ नजर आता है मिडिल ईस्ट में. So we are very established player. Now the next move is going to the other countries in the GCC. Especially we're focusing in Saudi.
Yeah.
So very soon, inshallah, you
So
will see
good
us
impact on the economy of Pakistan by TPL
of course,
as well.
the plan is to have 30% of our revenue coming from abroad in the next 3 years and the 50% in the next 5 years.
Inshallah.
So that's the vision of the group CEO, Ali Jamil.
Right.
And he's very aggressive, very technology-oriented guy. And so that's what's his vision. And we're working on that. And inshallah, we'll
Soon,
meet that.
inshallah.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little about the partnership that you have with Jazz. Jazz is providing with the IoT services, and you are working with them. How does the mix happen, and what's the partnership? What's the benefit of the partnership that's being given to the customer?
So it's I would call it a strategic alliance between the two companies, between two technology companies.
Yeah.
We make IoT products, we sell IoT products, and you give us the connectivity.
Yeah.
You see, we need connectivity to connect to the people.
Yeah.
And who can be better partner than a Jazz?
Yeah.
And for Jazz, who can be the better partner than a TPL Trakker?
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had a good discussion today. Not just these IT devices, there are a lot more avenues that we can work on.
Yeah.
We have a huge IT department. We have a control room. We have a need of cloud-based storage system. We need connectivity, not just the 3G, 4G connectivity, but also need a satellite connectivity, because in a lot of places, a lot of companies we are working with who need a satellite connectivity, because there are portions in Pakistan where you don't have a GSM connectivity.
Yeah.
So there is a connectivity issue where you need a satellite tracking system. And so far, only Jazz was able to provide us this solution.
The VSAT solution, yeah.
So one part is this connectivity, and other part is the IoT devices, because as I see, the Jazz is also coming into giving different solution to the consumers, and IoT devices are one of them.
Yeah.
So we have lot more devices whereby we can facilitate Jazz and their consumers, and we have a lot of product and the proposition whereby we can sell your product to our consumers, or indirectly or directly connected to the consumers. So it's a strategic alliance, and we've been working on the lines, by the way, and not just for Pakistan, but on the global level, we're working with your parent company as well to have some kind of partnership. And
that's how it works. I mean, companies come together and build an ecosystem, and that's how you actually
exactly. You see, the consumers are the same. You go to the same consumer, I go to the same consumer.
Absolutely.
So why don't work together and give them a more value-added service to them just by one window? Like if the consumer coming to TPL Trakker and we have a bundle of product for them, and if a consumer coming to you and you have a bundle of product, including the tracking devices or the IT devices or any other requirement, which you can't fulfill, but we can. And since we are the partners, you can't say no to the customer. And same the vice versa. If the consumer coming to me, I can't say no to the consumer because I know I'm working with the Jazz. So we can have a bundle of product and then go to the customers. So that's the edge these two companies can, if we can work together, and the value proposition we can produce to the consumer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're talking about devices and all of those things. I also wanted to ask you, my last question to you actually would be, the world is moving towards 3G, 4G sunset. Pakistan maybe is not that close to it, but since you are expanding globally as well, that's on the horizon. That's not too far, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of devices that you're using probably are 3G, 4G, 3G, 2G enabled. So what are your plans for the sunset, and how are you planning to? Because the device's life is actually more than 15 years sometimes.
Yeah. So some of the devices we make locally here. Some of the devices we import from the different OEMs in the world.
Yeah.
So if you talk about global in Dubai, we find it difficult at times. Like we cannot sell 2G devices in Dubai. So it's a requirement. At times becomes the regulation and the mandatory requirement to upgrade your product.
Yeah.
So we'll switch our product from 3G, 2G, and to the next level.
Yeah.
You see, and same goes for Pakistan. If it's a mandatory requirement, if the 2G, 3G are no more available, and if the services are no more available, for example, we work with some American companies, and every 3 to 4 years we have to upgrade our product and upgrade our applications as well, especially.
Yeah.
And we go to the customer and we say, okay, this is what it is. You see, you use the iPhone and you use the Android phone.
Yeah.
You have to continuously upgrade your system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then probably you'll end up losing,
Of
money,
course.
and
Of course.
you'll end up losing business on it. Thank you so much, Mr.
you.
Salman. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here.
And so many things I learned about TPL today, and I hope our viewers did too. We will be back with another episode of Jazz Biz Buzz, with another personality, with another topic, with another B2B industry. So stay tuned.
Jazz Business, designed to help you grow.